Hi everyone, wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom Uvorach. This week's Parshat Beha'alotcha, we read how the Jewish people traveled through the desert and what formation, and how there were trumpets that were blown before they would travel, and how they had clouds of glory really showing them the way. And the Parashah repeats numerous times the famous words, Al pi Hashem yahanu ve'al pi Hashem yisau, which means that they would camp according to the mouth or the word or the will of God, and they would travel according to the will of God. And I think in these words is really a lesson for all of us, for all of life. You know, we're all traveling through life from one place to another. And often in life, we find ourselves in places that we don't necessarily want to be. Sometimes it's stuck behind a garbage truck. Sometimes we missed a flight, or we missed a train, or sometimes we got on the wrong train, the wrong way. And our Parashah is telling us that actually, Al pi Hashem yachanu, that ultimately in life, part of being relaxed, part of being able to go through life with stride, is by realizing this is exactly where God wants me. This was part of His itinerary, even though it may not have been part of mine. And when a person goes through life with this bitachon, with this sense of security, of calmness, of understanding that God is running the show, God is running the world, and wherever I find myself, ultimately this is part of my tikkun. This is part of my mission. And this is right where God wants me. Maybe I wouldn't want to be here, but al pi Hashem yachanu, we got to travel according to where God wants us. If God put me here, then this is where I am needed. This is where He wants me to be. And I don't understand why maybe. Maybe I won't never find out why. But when I know that, when I realize that, I'm able to go through life with a certain serenity, with a certain happiness, without anxiety, without stress. A story is told of a group of Chassidim that wanted to purchase for their rabbi a brand new woolen tzitzit, which at the time was not cheap. So they gathered all the money and they finally purchased a piece of cloth, a woolen cloth wide enough to cover the rabbi's upper body. And they presented it to the rabbi. The rabbi was very appreciative, very thankful. And they went together to the tailor. And now there was one thing left to do, and that is to cut a circle for the rabbi's head. Well, the tailor folds the cloth once, he folds it twice, and he cuts a half circle. And if you know from arts and crafts, when you cut a half circle on a clothing that you folded once, on a paper that you folded once, you open it up and there's one hole. But the tailor accidentally folded it not once, but 2 times. And so when they opened up this piece of clothing, they found in it not 1, but 2 holes. And of course he was so embarrassed, he was very, very sad that he ruined the rabbi's tzitzit. But when the rabbi saw these 2 holes, the rabbi didn't say anything. He wasn't angry. Actually, the rabbi was smiling. And when all the Chassidim were there, they said, "Rabbi, why are you smiling? He ruined your shirt." The rabbi said, "No, this is perfect." They said, "Perfect? What do you mean perfect?" He said, "This is perfect. This hole is for my head, and this hole is God testing me to see if I'm going to get angry." This is a rabbi that understood and appreciated Al pi Hashem yachanu, that everywhere, everything that happens to me in my life is exactly how God wanted it. Remember, my friends, that at the end, it will be okay. And if it's not okay, it's not the end. Shabbat Shalom.